Welcome to the Author to Authority podcast. I'm Kim Thompson-Pinder, your host. And of course, I'm here with my wonderful, amazing, talented co-host, Juanita Wootton-Radko. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Kim. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, that too. I don't know about you, but in some ways, 2021 crawled, and in other ways, it's gone by so fast, I can't even believe it.
Oh, it's been quite the roller coaster year for me. So, yep, I agree.
Like, I think, slowness wise, it's just, let's get done with COVID. Like, I am so done with COVID. And, of course, right now, Ontario's being hit by Omicron and the numbers are skyrocketing. But hopefully the good news is I was reading a report last week out of South Africa where it kind of started. And they were saying, like they had like the massive, upswing, incredible numbers that lasted a few weeks. And now their numbers are just like coming down really fast as well. So I'm hoping we're going to see that here, that it's just, one of those things that's really fast in, blows through and it's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which would be really nice.
Definitely be my preference.
Yes. Oh, just take a breath. Just coming off Christmas. Christmas is always so busy. I was telling Juanita before the call that my daughter-in-law had asked me to make a plush crocheted dump truck for my grandson, and I got the wrong yarn. So something that was supposed to be like maybe 5 or 6 inches long was like almost 2 feet long. This thing, my grandson's 2.5. This thing was almost as big as he was, and I finished it 20 minutes before everybody arrived for Christmas dinner. So my time management skills, I think, need some work in 2022, because I definitely did not gauge how long it was going to take for me to make this thing. I finally got it pretty well crocheted on December 24th. And I thought, it'll just take an hour or so to sew this thing together. Yeah. 5-6 hours later. And I'm so thankful for my husband and my daughter, because they stepped in, they made breakfast, they cleaned up, they packed. We were going somewhere, so we packed everything up. Oh, I would not have been able to do it without their help and support. So thank you for family.
Yay.
How about you? How was your Christmas, my friend?
Oh, we had a quiet family get together with my father-in-law, and we had on Christmas Day, it was a very busy Christmas Eve, because I'm involved with the music team at our church, and my husband is part of the AV, which is also part of the music team. And so is my older daughter, and my youngest daughter joined the music team and was playing a shaker on every song she possibly could, and we had to tell her, no, the Oh Holy Night does not need a maraca. And
this is why we're friends, right? Like, I'm married to the sound guy at our church. My son's the drummer, my daughter's a worship leader. Oh, my friend. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Juanita and I even have the same vehicle, not intentionally, but different year models, but we actually have the same vehicle in the same color.
Yes. Yeah. That sometimes things just work out that way. I once read a saying that coincidence is when God winks,
Well, it was funny. I was driving to Juanita's place the other day to drop something off for her, and we pull up and your vehicle wasn't there. And we were in my van, and my hubby's like, oh, the sister's missing. I'm thinking, no, Jade and Aaliyah are somewhere. Like, there's no sister missing. And then I realized he was talking about your van.
Yes. Our vans are twins.
So today we're probably going to do a two-parter, I think. I think we got enough material here to do a two-parter
Absolutely. Yeah.
about starting 2022 off strong with your business. And when you think through your business and your plans and your stuff like that, it's always good. I like taking time, the week between Christmas and New Year's and, the first couple of days of the year. I mean, some people do it way ahead of time, and I do it a bit, but I really kind of focus in on that week. And while I'm taking time to rest and relax, and my brain's not on 60 million other things now that Christmas dinner is done and all the gifts are made, and, I can finally stop and take a breath, and all the church obligations are done. So, I was just thinking about it today, and, what is 2022 going to look like in RTI Publishing? And, one of the things I was thinking of, and then I'll let you share some thoughts there, my friend, was what really worked in 2021 and what didn't work. So I'd love to hear your initial thoughts on it, and then I'll share some more there, my friend.
The first thing that came to mind was Monday.com. We made the switch over to running a lot of the behind the scenes work, from spreadsheets to what should I call it? It's a platform for where you
Like a
create
project
your own
management
forms.
software.
Exactly, a project management platform. And that was a really helpful thing from my point of view. We were able to collaborate better with clients and with our freelancers through that platform.
Yeah, because we were finding emails were getting lost, like, the lines of communication weren't always as strong. And then, we'd send them stuff, but they didn't get it. And then we're having to email them again. So now everything just gets uploaded into the system, and, they can go back and refer to it at any time. So yeah, I agree. That was one thing that worked really well. Now, it took a while to, install and get everybody, well, not install, but set up, and, everybody on board. And, it's always fun when we got new clients and we're bringing them on board and they're not too sure of themselves, even though Juanita has set up this wonderful, and we're going to actually talk about this, the last 0.5, right? About systems. Juanita has an onboarding system for both clients and freelancers that teaches them how to use the system. And it's funny to watch some of our clients, because some of them just jump in, they do it, they're comfortable, and other ones are like, I can't even do the first instruction. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. You have to help me, right? So Juanita graciously gets on a Zoom call with them. But I think some people, like, I'm a visual person. I do much better when someone shows me something, or, I have instructions with pictures in them. So I think just some people maybe just do better, visually, because usually once you get on with them and you show them, they're fine with it.
Yeah. And that is the great thing about Zoom too, is that I'm able to be hands off, and either I show them what's on my screen and go through, or with the Zoom, I give them the ability to share their screen, and I said, okay, you're looking in the wrong place. Because a lot of times the frustration comes because they're looking in the bottom left corner of the screen when they should be looking in the top right, that kind of thing of, you see that little icon over there that looks like a cupcake? Click on that. Oh, that's really easy. Yeah, I think, and like, so let's do this a couple times, make sure that you're comfortable with it. And then it's like, oh, I can't believe I didn't figure this out on my own. And I say, it's okay. We're out, because nobody wants to hear, yeah, I can't believe it either.
That would be
There's
something that would not work well with our clients in 2022.
that's something that you need to really be aware of, is to remember that even if something comes naturally for you, there's probably something in your life that does not come easily to you. And just if you're working with someone who is having difficulty and with something that you think should be easy, this is where you need to flip it and go, oh, I remember when I was really terrible at X.
Mhm.
And it would have been so much easier had someone just said to me, if you do this,
Yeah.
that it'll be really easy.
Well,
And
go ahead.
that kind of support is what people need to build their confidence.
I was thinking when you were saying that, I was reorganizing my room today, and I found an old report card of mine, and I was looking back at my grades.
Mhm.
And the grades were all really decent except for one subject. Do you remember what subject that was, my friend?
Well, I remember that you did not enjoy all of the French classes that we took.
So here's the thing. The only reason I passed French in high school was because of Juanita. Now, don't get any ideas. We didn't cheat or anything. We're not that kind of friends, But she did tutor me quite a bit, and helped me so that at least I got all of my assignments, But I failed just about every French exam I took. It was just like, but funny story. When we were in high school, Juanita and I were the kids that, got the homework done fast, and we'd be sitting there twiddling our thumbs. So of course, you want to chat and talk. And of course, the teachers don't want you talking, right? Because then it distracts everybody else. So Juanita and I came up with a system where we had a notebook. And I think over the years, we ended up with 5 or 6 of them.
Oh, yeah.
But we would just write what we wanted to say to each other back and forth. So that's how we would talk. Of course, now kids just text each other, but we had our notebook.
Yeah, it was caveman texting.
Anyway, I remember in French class one day, Monsieur de Video, who was actually Italian, but he was pretty cute too.
He was a nice guy.
He had that gorgeous European look, Anyway, he caught us with the notebook. And, of course, Juanita and I were smart enough, not to, well, if we wrote personal things, we did everything in codes. We had codes for everything, and we had codes for people's names. So you never knew who we were talking about, which was really good because that book got grabbed a few times over the years.
Yep, I'm thinking of one in between. One of the few times we stopped using code was to give someone a piece of our mind.
Yes, I think I remember it saying, "Jim, you twit."
That's exactly what I was thinking about. Which, in the grand scheme of things, that seems pretty mild-mannered now.
Yes.
You twit. Well, that's scathing, isn't it? I know.
Anyway, Monsieur de Video, he grabbed the notebook, and Juanita and I are just kind of like horrified. And he reads a little bit of it, and then he says, well, since at least your homework's done, he says, I don't mind if you do it, but Kim really needs to practice in French. So I will allow you to do it as long as you do it in French.
And I was like, d'accord.
And I'm like, oh, this is not going to be fun anymore.
It was for me.
But we did it. I still have one of the notebooks where every once in a while you just see us starting to converse in French.
Yeah.
But getting back to what you were saying was, sometimes you just need help, right? You're not strong in everything. So, when you look at what did not work in 2021, maybe there's some areas where you need someone to come in and help and support you. I really believe in coaching and mentorship. You know, I've had coaches and mentors over the years. I don't have one specifically right now, but I kind of have mentors and coaches in the books I read and the trainings I take. Like I take an awful lot of training and teaching. You know, anytime I have opportunities, I've always got books on the go. I'm always expanding my mind in different areas. And, you know, I'm reading one right now called Hook Point, which is about, you know, creating that, you know, that one sentence which captures your business and grabs the attention of the person, you know, and it talks about how, you know, you may have 3 seconds to grab somebody's attention because we have so many advertising messages coming at us every single day.
Attention.
Yeah. So how do you grab that attention? So I am constantly learning and growing. And, you know, one other thing I just want to talk about, and then we'll hop on to point number 2, is the 80-20 principle, Pareto's principle. And what it talks about is the fact that 80% of your results come from 20% of what you do. So for me, you know, what 20% of what I did this year was producing 80% of the results? And then vice versa. What 80% was I doing that was only producing the 20% of the results?
That is a really good question. Something that came to my mind from when I owned the shop. I listened to a speaker who said 80% of your headaches come from 20% of your business practice, that certain level of client who is not really an ideal customer. It taught me that it was okay to fire the ones who were not worth the frustration they were causing me.
Well, we haven't had to fire too many clients here at RTI Publishing, but
no,
there was that one client that I was tearing my hair out, and poor Juanita was hearing me vent all the time, and she could see how frustrated I was. And, you know, we finally got to the point where we felt we had done enough that we could let her go. And so we just did. We fired her. It's like, you're done. Like, we're not doing this anymore, right? It's just not worth it. I mean, I was losing sleep. I was putting in extra hours. I was stressed. I was, you know, I couldn't focus on the other business because this project just kind of swallowed everything up. And yeah, it was just so nice. So haven't fired a lot of clients. I think we fired 2. And then there was one client that we did finish the book because we were just at a point, well, you know, this client is not great, but, you know, can we finish doing this project? Yeah, we got it done.
Yeah, because, you know, it's a point of integrity that we produce a quality product and uphold our end of the bargain. It is also true that there are times when you're not going to be able to complete all of or fulfill all of the customer's requests at the price point that the customer thinks they should be paying. I'm sure I'm not telling any business owner out there, you know, there's 3 things. That it's a triangle or a pyramid. I guess triangle, go with that, is that you have good service, low price, or quality product. You can pick any 2 that you want.
Very true. Yep. I heard that term scope creep, and I didn't know what it was at first, but you know, I finally kind of looked it up, and boy, did that thing ever make sense. It's just they keep creeping up with more and more things that expand the scope of the project or the product or the service that they want, and after a while, it's actually eating up your profits, it's eating up your time, it's eating up. So one thing we do at RTI Publishing is we have a work agreement. And in the work agreement, it states what work we will do, what is acceptable levels for different things. And if you go above those levels, what are the additional costs that you will incur? Now, if a client asks for one thing, one small thing, I'm not going to go, okay, you have to pay extra, right? That's just part of the good service. But it comes a point when they're asking for more and more and more. And, you just have to have that conversation with them. And it's not an easy conversation, but I think you can make it easier by your attitude, right? And, I just say to them, that is way outside, of what we agreed upon in the work agreement. And you need to understand that, for me to do this for you, I am going to be putting out a fair amount of money to my team to accomplish this. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, right? Because most people are like, oh, I don't want you to lose money, right? So I usually would say something to them like, it's not that we can't do it, but you would need to compensate me for it. And of course, I'm going to give you a very good price on it. I'm not really looking to make money on this additional work, but I do need to cover my costs. And, when you position it that way, they either say, no, it's not that important. Okay, good. Or they say to me, you know what, Kim, this is something I really want. Send me the invoice. We'll get it paid and let's do it. Right. And here's the thing, if a client or customer of yours really balks at it or gets angry at you for that, then maybe they're not a good client or customer for you.
Yeah, that's they're qualifying themselves as a customer. Maybe it looks like you're more of a bronze level package than a platinum package customer, or the reverse. If this request would be part of our gold level project, sounds like you're wanting this level of service, and we can talk about your upgrade anytime you like. And that's a win-win. The client gets more features and we get paid for the extra work that we are doing.
Yeah. So like I said, I mean, if your client or customer is asking for, one or two small things that, are not going to disrupt, the company, the profits, whatever, I would say go for it, because that's just good customer service. Like we've occasionally had clients say, Kim, we need a few blog posts, right? And most times they will, offer to pay. But, for me, writing a few blog posts, it's nothing, right? So a lot of times, if a client asks for that, we're like, if they ask for one or two, it's like, you know what, we'll just give that to you, right? That's your bonus. Thank you for being a good client. And they so appreciate it, but it doesn't cut into the profits or the project or anything else. That's something that's easy for us to do, right? Now, if they want 10, 15, 20 blog posts, that's a different story.
I think an important point as a sidebar for some of these things is when you have something like that where we throw them in, I think it's important in the way that you show them in the billing. This was something I offered sewing classes. When you purchased a sewing machine from my store, I included up to 10 or 12 hours of sewing instructions specifically on how to operate the machine, depending on the level of how sophisticated the machine was would determine how long your course ran.
Mhm.
The thing that I found initially, I'd heard from other dealers, they're like, oh, people don't want to, I have these lessons and there's no charge for them. They're free owner's lessons, and I'll get the class only half full or whatever. And I said, oh, they're not free. They paid for them when they bought the machine. And that, do you want to know how good my attendance was? 99 to 100%, because people felt like, oh, this is owed to me. And
Yeah, just a change of perspective, right?
yeah, I didn't have many instances where I was stood up for my owner's classes, and I set aside a certain time, and people were welcome to join the next set if they couldn't make a class, but they were coming on their time.
Mhm.
I wasn't making additional class times
Mhm.
when
Yeah, like if they
for
couldn't come to a certain one, you're like, okay, so here's your options. You can come this one, or this one, right? And then give them the option. Yeah, that's really cool. All right, well, let's see if we can get number 2 covered, because I think we're already at least 20 minutes into the episode here. So So point number 2 we were thinking about is, what are new things that you can bring into your business in 2022? So, what are supplementary, big mouthful, products or services that you can add? And, that's something that at RTI Publishing, every year and a half, we've expanded our services, our products, our services, what we can do. And, it's the same for 2022. We're going to be adding hardcover books, audio books, podcasting. If you want to start a podcast in 2022, we will be offering podcast services. Not quite yet, probably a couple of months in, but, that's going to be one of the areas that we're going to grow in. We're looking at potentially, we're going to be speaking to some people about doing translations. Here in Canada, we have 2 official languages, English and French. In the US, it's not 2 official languages, but the main languages, well, English is the official language, but Spanish is spoken a lot in the US. So, can we add those services on? So I'd love for you to think about, what is something that's supplementary that you can add. Now, here's the thing. You have to be able to add it and handle it and manage it. People want to add stuff on, but if you're not at a place in your business where, you have the skills, talents, abilities to do it yourself, or you have, a team in place to help, with those things. And it could be the same with products too, adding a new product line on, that's, you have increased costs in having potentially inventory. You've got, increased shipping costs. You have to, now ship additional products. So there's a lot to think about when you bring on new products and services. Your thoughts, my friend?
Well, even storage can be a new consideration if you're adding new items. I mean, it's one thing when it's digital.
Yes.
But digital brings some other considerations. But if you are talking physical inventory, where are you going to keep it? How much inventory are you going to keep? And how are you going to track things?
Yes.
I think that's an important tool across the board, is tracking, having metrics for knowing, okay, if I'm going to make these changes, how do I know that these changes are doing any good?
Yes.
You have to be able to have some kind of way of measuring that you're getting some results from whatever change you make.
Yeah. And, you know, even when it comes to adding additional services, it's the big one is the time factor. You know, do you have the time to be able to provide? I remember, you know, one of the reasons I started RTI Publishing was I was freelancing writing, but now people wanted editing, they wanted cover designs, they wanted formatting, they wanted me to upload it to Amazon. And it got to the point where I felt like I was working 24 hours a day and I couldn't keep up. Like there was just so much. And, you know, that's when I called on my very wonderful bestest friend who was really good at editing, because she's great. I'm okay. And, you know, do you have time to do some editing for me? Like I'm swamped. I really need some help. Right. And of course, being the wonderful best friend that she is, she said yes. You know, but then from there, again, we just kept growing. And so I brought Juanita on because it hit the point where I couldn't manage all the projects and grow the business at the same time. We actually stalled out for a while because I had no time to get out there and sell packages and make the connections that I needed and network, because I was just working on everybody's projects. Well, you know, all of a sudden you hit a point where the money stops coming in.
Yep.
You know, so then it was like, okay, you know, how can we, you know, expand what she was doing? And Juanita and I have been best friends for a very long time. And there's some things that we're very similar in, but there's a couple of key areas that we are like so opposite in. Juanita is a planet person, planet ahead of time, have everything in place, all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed. You know, she wants to know 2 weeks ahead of time everything that's going on. And I am not that way.
My biggest thrill present this year was a Hobonichi Techo Japanese calendar. It's not a calendar, it's a planner agenda, pardon me. And it's kind of like a Filofax or a day timer type of thing. And Kim's chuckling. I can see her smiling at like, only you would get excited about a calendar, Juanita. And I'm like, oh yes, I am excited. You know, that's what it makes my little heart happy to make lists, check off boxes, and assign things to their dates.
And it's not that I don't plan. It's something I've had to learn how to do. I'm very, let's just go with the flow. And so, you know, there's times that Juanita's planning everything out and I'm like, this is so slow. Like, let's just move forward. And she's like, you're driving me nuts. Cause you know, I'm just like, oh yeah, just do it. You know, I'd throw something at her and she's like, so we've had a few tense moments in our friendships over the years, but I think we've both learned to appreciate, you know, the positives and the strengths that each one of them has. Because of Juanita, I am more planned. You know, I do keep more lists. You know, I'm doing better in that. And because of my influence, she is a little bit more go with the flow. I can sometimes throw something at her and she doesn't want to kill me.
You're giving me opportunities to grow that aspect of myself. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Thanks, Kim. Thanks for the opportunity. Yep.
Oh. Well, you know what? I think we've gone long enough for today. We are going to continue this. We have 3 more points that we want to cover in the next episode. So let's shut it down for now. Juanita, do you have a closing thought for us?
Yes. Get yourself a good calendar, everybody, because 2022 has some amazing things in store for you.
Amen to that. So this has been Kim Thompson-Pinder and Juanita Wootton-Radko on the Author to Authority podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye now.
Bye.